All right, fairly quick video, Israel. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone, most salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect. Soon to be the elect, most high will. To the hopeful extended elect, shalom, blessings. Getting right into it. This is what we mean by Israelites scattered and Israelite-Foreigners. This depiction, it looks pretty based on real picture, but they do have real pictures I'm about to show. Now, you know, Jay could have easily had a father or grandfather like this, which they call this a black Chinese. And you can see the child right here. You know, he could pass for a dark Chinese, and he might be they might have been among the Chinese, the real Chinese, and you know, the Chinese people looking at their hair like, what kind of Chinese are you? Because they still have somewhat Chinese features. I mean, you could see it, but really is, I don't know if that's even a thing, Chinese features, because, you know, the Chinese are the Moabites in the scriptures, the Japanese, and they did, Ammon is Japanese, you know, in the scriptures, and they are the children of Lot, but they were cursed. Children of Lot were cursed because of what the daughters did. So they wasn't the chosen people, even, you know, out of our, even coming out of us, you know, or from us. Just like Esau and Jacob, born in the same womb, brothers. One wasn't chosen. Abraham. Isaac and Ishmael, but Isaac was chosen. So Most High he does that. And you can read about the Moors going into China. I Googled it. Here's another picture. Looks more realistic to me anyway. You know, and you got a lot of people that look like this. You know, the original Chinese were black Moors. And if you go to that word chink, if I'm not mistaken, do your own research, the chink comes from kink, like kinky hair. So if they called you a chink, it was a derogatory term for Chinese. Let me look it up right quick. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that too. White guy gets life in prison for killing black woman. I'm gonna make a thing like I mentioned called Esau tax Eve or something like that. It says there were no historical Moorish empires in China. Not talking about that. It says, however, individual Moors and North African Muslims did travel to China as as merchants, scholars, and explorers. Most notably, the legendary Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta in the 14th century. While the Moors themselves did not settle in China, a massive wave of Central Asian and Persian Muslims, along with Arab traders, migrated to China. So, and then you did have Paul in the areas of Asia Minor and Turkey. That was all of us, all our people, all up in there. Paul was a so-called black man, along with the rest of the disciples and Israelites. Here's Egypt right here. We are captive in Egypt. Here's Israel, which is our main homeland. Up in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Old Babylon. Syria, you had, like I said before, you had our the Northern Kingdom getting help from Syria to fight the Syrian Empire oppression and all that. Um, so and you do have also have Afro-Iranians, and so you know it's easily to know. And here's even Greece. Our people were captive under the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire and all that. So there's dark people all up in here, melanated, whether they be us or not. But we do have our people among them. Like it says in the scripture, we're scattered among all nations. Um, Let me get another picture. Ancient Black China. I don't know if I highlighted this one, but and you got some celebrities that have that so-called Chinese look. Let me get that word chink right quick. Origin of the word chink. Origin of the word chink. Do they call it chink? As a racial slur targeting people of Asian descent, chink emerged in the United States, Australia, and New Zealand during the late 19th century. Now, you know it said we shall become a byword among all these nations. Now, let me ask this. Is chink the same thing as kink? And they might say no. Chink, the same word as kink. No, they are entirely different. Kink, the name refers to a twist or curl. Chink, the word has multiple separate meanings. Chink in the arm are a light pitched ringing sound. However, it is also highly offensive racial slur directed at people of Chinese or Asian. Or they say you have chinky eyes. When Jake gets high, he's chinky eyes and all that. Hearing the word chink to avoid. Let me see. What is chinky hair? Let me see if there's a thing called chinky hair. What is chinky hair? Chinky hair can mean two different. Yeah. Why would that be? Look, chinky hair. So chink is like kink. Chinky hair can mean one or two entirely different things depending on the context. An offensive racial slur or a descriptive hairstyling texture term. As a racial slur or derogatory term, chinky. East Asia descent. As a descriptive hair term, kinky. See, that's word is similar. Kinky hair refers to a natural hair texture where each strand grows in a repeating pattern of small contiguous coils, zigzags, or tight spirals. Meaning, so you did have so-called Chinese-looking black people with chinky hair. This woman on the left right here. It's a lot of people she look like. The Shell Underwood, she looked like her a little bit. So you know definitely it was racism. Look at this man. So they can't. That's why they can't say it's a black or white thing. It's a because all these nations besides Esau is melanated in some kind of sense. So it's not a skin color. That's a real picture there. You had the more dynasties. Like I said, Attila the Hun, he probably was a Jake. He was killing so-called white people too. He was killing Edomites too. As it looks like a real picture. You'll have a Jake that looks like this little kid. And he might be among Chinese. They might give him a hard time, but you know, he'll be known Chinese, speak Chinese. He's really a Jake. A lot of them Koreans too, because they fought the war. They always sent Jake to war. So during the Korean War, it easily could have been Jake amongst them, looking Korean, talking Korean. I'm gonna do some research about that too, the Korean War. Genghis Khan could have been an Israelite. Let me see how they say he looks. Of course, they whitewash everything, so-called whitewash everything, but on down, he'll probably somewhere in here be a dark-skinned man. And a lot of them had something in common. They were killing Edomites. I think he was of the Mongolian tribe. Let me ask this. Was Genghis Khan killing white people? They're not gonna say white, of course. Estimates of death toll from Mongol conquest. Let me see what they say he is. Genghis Khan was not white. He was ethnically Mongol or Central Asia, and to his contemporaries, he would have appeared physically similar to modern-day Mongols and other East Asian and Siberian. So he wasn't a white person. Let's see, it said, how did he treat Jews? Congress treated Jewish communities with general tolerance but placed restrictions of. He demanded that Jews and Muslims. Why are Jews and Muslims always together? And they somewhat as the modern day, who they choose to be their enemies, like the Arabs. They the top enemies, but here it says they are always together, being mentioned together, because really they was us. We converted to Muslim, but we gave the Muslims the Arabs their religion. But Muslim just means submission to God. It's a Hebrew word for it too. So, you have Moors, like it just mentioned, Moors, Muslims, Moorish Jews, adhere to the traditional Mongol method of eating over kosher practices, strictly prohibited circumcision, and categorize them below Mongols as slaves. So, because Gandhi recognized the value of diverse merchants and scholars, and governing has expanded, Jews were largely able to integrate. So, I don't know, it's either here that he could have been or not, but in any case, let's see what he was notorious for. Right quick. Genghis Khan was most notorious for his ruthless and devastating conquests across Eurasia, in which his armies leveled cities, slaughtered millions who resisted, and built the largest contiguous empire in history. But I got to do more research on him. Let me see what Attila Hun they say he looked like in Pinterest. Attila the Hun, same kind of look as they got with Genghis Khan. I mean, of course they're gonna make him look like a so-called white man at times, but he was definitely not a Edomite. I mean, as far as, what they say that he was, same thing that he was, they would probably say Eastern Asia or some. But, did he kill, let me see, did Attila the Hun, was Attila the Hun, let's see what it says about him killing. Spelling this name wrong. Attila the Hun and his armies fought, subjugated, and killed many people, including the white European populations of the late Roman Empire. So he was probably most likely a Jake. This was not based on race or skin color, but rather conquest, territorial expansions, and wealth. The Huns did not discriminate in who they fought. Rather, they targeted anyone who resisted them. Well, if you're a part of a family and you're called the Huns or whatever you're called, the Israelites, and you fought against another nation, that is racial. And it could easily be based on skin color if you're, if they're complete, if they're fighting in a race that is completely so-called white, like it said in the scriptures, Esau came out red all over. That's basically, says something that you got to pay attention to. He came out red. Attila famously devastated regions that are now modern-day France, Germany, Italy, and the Balkans. During these conquests, his armies killed, enslaved, and displaced the Germanic, Gallic, and Roman population they encountered. That's the same thing Hannibal was doing, and he was a so-called black man. He was conquering Italian cities, and so he easily could have been a Jake. And then when you take over the land, you start popping their women, and you have, and we have our own women too, and our own women some of them look like so-called Chinese, but they were Israelites. But then you did have real Chinese, real Moabites that Israelite men slept with. And, it's black people that look like this woman, and black men that look like this dude. So the scriptures. Here's another. If that's his wife, he slept with her, they're gonna have a child that looks like a dark Chinese or whatever. He might be a light brown Chinese, but that he's still gonna be an Israelite. So the scripture, James 1:1, scattered among the 12 tribes are scattered abroad. All through the scriptures we talk about and pull scriptures on how we are scattered among the heathen. Paul's journey, and many of the Israelite apostles that were called out, sent away to go to different regions. best believe in the presence, and even during war and conquering, and they slept with a lot of these different nations' women. And like I said, some of them were uh, Israel that look like the other nations. Uh, you have Afro Iranians, Afro Iranians. Same thing. I've gone over this before. As they say, this is come on, man. Won't let me. Okay. Could easily be your sister, your mother, your wife. So you know, Jake don't have an open mind, man, on history. Let's see. He still, even though he looked like a Chinese married to he could still easily be an Israelite, man. Just like Bruce Lee, you know. And his children look straight Negro. Um, so yeah. Look, Afro Iran, Jake look oppressed like a mud. He's in Iran and shit. That's Jake like a mother sucker. We oppressed in every land, man. Ghettoed out in every land. Some of us may live well, but majority we are under the curses. So this American mind state got our people just closed-minded like a mug. We don't see too many different people in this land of America. It's only like so-called black people and so-called white people for the majority, as far as public public gatherings, events, or something. You don't really see no Chinese or no East Indians, but they here. They don't really, they don't. Or the cop, you show that show the cops, or dealing with the laws and police. You don't really see Chinese East Indians like that. In jail, you don't see. It's just Esau and Jacob. And when I mean Jacob, I mean the rest of the tribes too. But yeah, Jake is just so used to this black and white bullshit over here. And these are some of these are some pretty women right here. So we gonna have our delight, you know. There's some beautiful Iranian women. Might be Jake though, Afro-Iranian. So our women can't really be mad at us anyway, because some of the so-called looking white people, or Chinese people, or East Indian people are really our women anyway. So Afro-Iranian women. Let me see what they look like. I'll close out, but Sometimes they exotic looking, you know. But Jake, Jake's closed-minded over here in America. It's all about America for Jake. All about America. Nah, ain't gonna be none of this right here. That hair and all that, and that's Elon. She's pretty. She she's not from the United States. She look like Jake to me. So our women can't be like, why are you sleeping with them Iranian women, or why you? Cause they are women. They the same as you. They could be from the tribe of one of the tribes. But anyway, we're trapped in this. That's how you know this is real hell. Because we're not exposed to these different cultures that could allow us to identify us in a way to where you know we have so much more culture to us, so much more beauty to us, you know, other than this dealing with this black and white bullshit. Says she's Ethiopia. But anyway, you know, yeah, America's is trash, man. I forget what they call these people. Let me see. I forget. They real pretty. I forget what they're called. I don't know if this looks like AI though. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to make this. I've already made it too long. But you know the scriptures about us being scattered, man. She can easily be Jake, and if not, we can mess with him anyway, because we're the sons of God. We can mess with any nation's women if we want to, man. And the Most High would not have a problem with it. But these are real women, man. Let's see. Anyway. So yeah, a lot of in history, when you'll start to know, finding out and reading about certain people, you'll find that they Jakes. Yeah, a couple of these pictures are AI, but these are real, for the most part, real pictures. Here's another beautiful woman. And Esau know we got the best looking women and shit. He always talking about, a jigaboo dance or, come on, man. Esau be obsessed with our women and shit, man. Damn devil, he's a hypocrite and shit. Anyway, till next video, shalom.